Today is September 14th, and the Yankees' magic number is 14 after they sweep the Red Sox in 2 games. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, presented to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code YANKS for $20 off your first time purchasing tickets on the SeatGeek app. It's super easy to use. Green, yellow, red bubbles dictate to you the best deals on there, and $20 off. So download the app. It's super easy to use. I used it earlier this year, and I think I might be using it soon because I'm trying to sneak as many Yankee games I can the rest of the way, especially if there's something big going on at the stadium. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So go use SeatGeek. Code YANKS, $20 off your first tickets. As you can tell by the deep baritone raspy voice of myself, Jake Storielli, Jimmer had to run out. He was here. I think he'll have no problem disclosing this. Just brutal headache. He could not shake to the point that
just came upon him.
Couldn't look at light, which is a big part of our whole office. There's actually, hopefully we'll be able to laugh tomorrow when he wakes up and he's feeling better, that, all of our rooms have automated light sensors at the office. So every room he was walking into to try to get away from the light, the light just
Sneak
instantly
attack
turned on.
him.
So
Takes a sec. It's
So
rude.
if you're there and maybe you're a Twitter person, tweeted John Boy, give him some love. He had a piercing one, and we said we got it. So it's me, Beebs, 2-game sweep over the Boston Red Sox, which is an easy one to celebrate with you guys. I'll even have the live chat open because we might need you guys more today. Man, I guess starting off, we do some housekeeping and some, it's back to general excitement. That had been out of the start of the episode for a little while now. A lot of it was hoping, waiting, wishing for who's healthy or what can go better. The Red Sox, a la the Twins, were a good dose of medicine. And let's be honest, the Red Sox are not a good baseball team this year. The play the Yankees scored 3 runs on, they should have scored 0. Would have made it a very different game. Even that play in the 9th inning, where the center fielder runs into the wall and there's some panic after that. I think a better Red Sox team in previous years gives us a little more of a run. But the Yankees win 2 more games. They're officially hot. I mean, wins-lost-wise, they lost the last game to the Twins and the first game in the Rays series. Otherwise, they've won 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8-2 in their last 10.
I was gonna say, I believe that's the stat I see going around. 8-2 in the last 10. Division lead is at 6
against the Rays, who were their division competitors. The Twins, who were leading the Central for a while, they've fallen off, and then 2 in Fenway, as the Yankees will have another off day. And then they will head to Milwaukee, where the Brewers are fighting with their season on the line. It's going to be interesting to see who they have lined up because we know they have some very good starting pitchers.
high end.
Let's see. ESPN says Alexander, Hauser, and Woodruff, so it doesn't look like Burns, who's their bad man. But we will get into that, and we will recap that Sunday. Beeps, how are you doing, mi amigo?
2 games sweep in Boston. Hard to be doing too bad.
Right?
Yeah, looks like Hauser, Woodruff, Alexander in Milwaukee.
Sure.
Feeling good. Yanks in a nice spot. The conversations we can have around the office again, which we were getting to have very prematurely, and then had to stop.
Yeah.
Are back to fun conversations.
All the fun playoff roster conversations and who would you rather play in the playoffs. We kind of had to stop doing those for a little bit. But with the Blue Jays playing the Rays, funny enough, the Rays are now 7.5 back. The Jays are 6 back. which is actually 7 because the Yankees have a tiebreaker over them. So the Yankees have one more 3-game set with Toronto. But again, like we talked about in the midweek episode, things would really have to fall apart. And things are just looking up and up. And I guess we'll do some quick housekeeping. Housekeeping is brought to you by John Boy Media because we've got a couple quick updates for you. One, our Warehouse Games channel is popping off. Mini golf has been insane. People are loving it. If you think you might be into it, you're definitely into it. Go check it out. We are having a boxing live stream that came up this weekend, Saturday. We thought our guy Dan Canobio was going. Him, Ronnie, and Chris Algieri, new co-host of Inside Boxing Live. Awesome dude. He's been in some real boxing matches. I think he went against Pacquiao.
Yeah, I think.
So, like, he's the real deal. So if you're in the boxing world at all, make sure you're checking out our stream this weekend, and we'll have all sorts of posts on John Boy Media and stuff like that. Dan's awesome. Big Yankee fan, if that helps you guys. Algieri's from Long Island. I wouldn't bet against him if we're playing that card. Ronnie, so a Yankee fan.
Ronnie's
and
Yankee
the man.
fan.
And
He's
the man.
Damn, I'm sure you can tweet Yankee stuff at him. He watches.
Yeah. So that's good if you're into boxing. And then baseball today continues to roll if you're looking to get your fill of anything baseball. Baseball today on AMP. Go check them out. Chris Rose, Trevor Plouffe, they do their show, and then they take live questions on the app so you can be a part of the show. Really cool. It's really good. Chris Rose is a killer. And Trev's awesome. Trev's our guy. So especially as we get closer to playoffs, if you maybe have some other questions about some other teams around the league, that's a good spot. Or us on Talking Baseball, or me and Beebs on Wake and Jake. Watch out.
Baseball today, truly best way to get a little dose of your baseball and be caught up on like everything.
Monday through Friday.
Plouffe and Rose, they don't miss a story.
Yeah. Rose doesn't miss a story, and Trev's lucky to be there.
Trev's around.
Code Baseball today on the AMP app if you want to check that out live. All right, so that brings us to housekeeping. Let's go around the horn. Jose Trevino's back, had a baby, hit a ball off the monster.
Yeah. Hit in each game?
I believe so.
I think so.
Rizzo, first base. That's an important one. It seems like from the quotes, they're saying he could be in play for Sunday in Milwaukee. Why myself, Jimmy, Beebs, and any Yankee fan is probably a little skeptical of that. It seems like with the Yankees' new regained courage in their standings by winning that Rays series and now winning some more, I think Anthony Rizzo, who's had a bad back all year, to fly him out to Milwaukee to potentially play one game and then fly him back kind of doesn't seem worth it. I think the only deepest Jakey, I don't know if it's an optimist cut or whatever you label it, but would be if they really think Rizzo could play on Sunday and then there's an off day the next day. Yeah. So that's kind of the built-in off day the Yankees like when guys come back. But that's still...
If there wasn't the travel aspect, I'd say I'd be more... in on he'll be back Sunday, gets the off day, 2 in a row off day that they usually like.
And I mean, Montes, Taillon, Gerrit Cole on the final day, and this is the Yankees' third to last road trip, and the final 2 are Toronto back home and then Texas to finish the year, which hopefully that series won't matter.
The others are just one set.
So, I don't know. We'll see if that develops at all. Marwin's been at first. He had his first kind of slip up tonight, but he had a big homer the night before, and it's obviously a drop-off from Rizzo to Marwin playing first base. You'd assume at this point they're going to play safe with it. And why wouldn't you? If you're going to do all that stuff in August to rest guys, the fact that you've earned up this little bit of extra credit now, I think they'd do that. So we'll see. Second base, no DJ update.
Not really.
Just not good there.
There's really been nothing great.
There's good Glaber updates. Those will come later in the episode.
I think he's getting mentioned.
Shortstops, no injuries there. Third base, Donaldson's been back. I don't think there's anything to update there. You're going to the outfield. There's no Benintendi update. There's no Carpenter update. There is Harrison Bader. He's playing games. He's doing well. He hit another home run tonight. Last time we checked on him, he stole a base. They are aiming for that Pittsburgh the 20th date, the same day that we think Rizzo was coming. And a credit to my guy, Jimmer Fredette, John Boy. He was kind of on it first that he thought that would be the date. I do think that date is changed, and Jimmy agreed with me on this, that if the Yankees didn't grab the division earlier, I think you might be seeing Rizzo early on in Milwaukee. I think you might be seeing Bader. But the fact that they've earned some more leash back, I think that 20th, Pittsburgh, talked about it in the midweek. I think that's when you're going to have Harrison Bader, Rizzo, and what's going to feel like a very different Yankee team than we've been watching for the past couple weeks, months.
I think specifically they said Bader, who homered tonight, bomb if you haven't seen the videos on social media. I think they said the off day tomorrow, then they want him to play back-to-back in center, and then I think he's good. If you get an off day, travel to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Clean.
So, Pittsburgh's at Yankee Stadium.
Traveled
for
the Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh game. And then Aroldis Chapman will be meeting the team in Milwaukee. So
I think they said activated Friday.
And right? I think, again, think about everything we just talked about with those guys. Rizzo, we know who he is. If he's healthy, he's in the lineup kind of no matter what. Harrison Bader, with where our outfield is at, let's see. But if he looks anything like the Harrison Bader that's been reported to us, right now he'd be battling for playing time with Andujar, Hicks, and Cabrera. Harrison Bader's a pretty good major league outfielder that if he looks anything like he's supposed to, you start penciling that guy in. We'll see.
It becomes a question of how you line it up.
Aroldis Chapman is going to have to earn his keep the rest of the way. He's joining the team in Milwaukee, and if you hear it on the broadcast, you hear it on the pregame, you hear it on the postgame, you hear it on Talkin Yanks, it is becoming one of the biggest, most fun conversations in Yankee land, and we'll probably do it in a couple midweek eps going the rest of the way. I enthuse you to do it at home. Try to put together a Yankee bullpen with Aroldis Chapman. If he comes back and he looks like Aroldis Chapman and he makes $20 million a year or whatever, like they're gonna figure that out. Scott Efros, who was closing games briefly for the Yankees, he threw a live BP today. He should be joining the team. I wouldn't be surprised if that's maybe Pittsburgh as well. And then
I think by the time we're here Sunday, we'll have
the official
timeline.
Update on him. Miguel Castro, we last heard he was throwing in the minor leagues. Try to fit that guy into your playoff bullpen. It's near impossible. And then Zach Britton, the other complete wild card. We had some quotes this week. That Yankees tea leaves wise didn't look fantastic. The only other side of it that would be, because he actually just got moved up to AAA. So he went low A to 2 to 3, I believe. And, last we talked about it at AA, he looked pretty good. The Yankees kind of came out and said they're not writing him into their postseason plans yet. There was no spring training this year. This is his first time back. I think they're just lowering the expectation a little bit. And the other thing, we do know the Yankees like a little bit of a sneak attack. Remember when they batted Rizzo leadoff in the playoff game last year? They had only done that once. That if Zach Britton, I don't know. I mean, we're up against it. The season ends October 5th. If he's not up here by...
I don't know how much time he needs for it to be possible to prove you're good to go. When they have a lot of arms deserving of being on the playoff
and
roster.
to prove yourself at the major league level, let's say he got called up a week from today. It's September 21st. That means he's got 2.5 weeks to show that he's ready to be Zach Britton in the bullpen. I don't know. That looks less optimistic, especially when you compare the Yankees' arms in the bullpen compared to, let's say we get a good Matt Carpenter update next week and we need to find a spot for him on the team. I mean, currently on the Yankees roster, I know it's expanded, but Florial, Hicks, Tilo, we know we do want him for speed, but Andujar, like, and it's not to sound silly, but if he could get 3 games of at-bats, they essentially did that with Stanton previously. So, so Zach Britton, if it was that chart, the emoji chart, it's the blue one going down a little bit. Bader, Rizzo, those are kind of going up.
Feels like Britton would be, if he gets back, like, good for him. They'd use him to give other guys a rest, let him take an inning, but I would guess we see him at some point, and that'll be really nice for Zach Britton.
Yeah. I love that for Zach. Let's get into the games. Is there any other housekeeping? Don't think so.
Oh, I think that's basically it. No Sevy news or anything. Has he done that last rehab game?
I believe that's going to be this weekend, and it would line him up for next Thursday, I think everyone was saying.
Feels right in my heart.
Or maybe it's the 21st. It's the Pirates. And we're doing a yes stream for that. So, guys, still crazy times in Yankee land. Again, like Domingo Germán, Jameson Taillon, Frankie Montas, Sevy, Nestor and Cole seem like they're a lock at the top. Definitely Cole, definitely Nestor. So
it's hard, unless there's some weird matchup stuff. Hard to imagine it not being that.
I would, in your Yankee group chat, start the conversation because that could get you through a full day. If you don't have a Yankee group chat, tweet at any of our Yankee people at John Boy Media, and they will be happy to respond to you. So that's that. We should do these 2 games in Boston. They are 2 games. The Yankees did sweep flashing red lights. Remember that? Postseason's coming, people. Almost blinded me to start the season, if anyone remembers that.
Strobe effect, too intense.
Something you should remember is cuts. Guys, there's no one I know who has more style than professional athletes. I've been compared to a guy that was on the Yankees taxi squad this series. Name rhymes with Ryler Shade. Cuts is with a bunch of MLB powerhouse dudes. Bryce Harper, one of the swaggiest dudes in the game. Walker Buehler, a friend of ours, really cool dude. And how about Mariano Rivero? Mariano Rivera's cousin, Mariano Rivero. No, Mariano Rivera. He wears cuts. He used to throw a cutter. That's marketing. Cuts is perfectly tailored fit. They're insanely comfortable with the sharp look, with tees, hoodies, polos, so you can look great no matter the occasion. Cuts, they've got the long sleeve Henley, short sleeve crew neck. They've got it. You got to go check out their website. It's cutsclothing.com. And with Yanks, cutsclothing.com/Yanks, you'll get 15% off the only shirt worth wearing. Whoa, Cuts. That's a big one. Join thousands of men who have already made the simple decision to elevate their wardrobe with Cuts. That's cutsclothing.com/Yanks, 15% off. All right, let's do, I've got Burns.
You got Burns?
I got Burns, man.
I'd love to hear him.
I'm ready to go.
Better market set Burn, Jake.
Yankees ace Gerrit Cole would go all Juice World fighting demons at Fenway Park versus Nick. When I say I need you, you say Pavetta for the Sox. 2 games in the Commonwealth, and as I mentioned, the Red Sox are home. Casas with the big Oppo Field homer. It's 2-0 Boston. Marwin likes his order so much, he says, I'll have what he's having. Tying it up at deuce. Reese Mark McGuire joins the homer race with his first of the year. It's 3-2 Sox, but Judge would keep his 55 homer lead on McGuire. That's 56 for the big fella into the Boston bullpen. It's 3-3. But Bogarts goes all Dr. Xavier as the X-Man homers. 4-3. Big Aaron Judge, he's eyeing an early retirement with number 57. Are you kidding me? 44, and it's Bunos. Cantos, bases loaded, 2 outs. Hey! hey, Glaby. I want to know, are you back? Looking like a 5-year high school reunion because everyone's coming home. 7-4 Yanks. Whoa! It's 7-6, but Wandy slides one past Devers. Cole had the homer problem again, but the offense picks him up. Cole Delicki to the greasers. Lou, Johnny, Clay, and Wandy. Yanks win 7-6 in 10. All right. So this kicked off the Yankees series. We had the off day Monday. We go up to Boston. We got Cole in the chamber. We get the lineup. We guessed the lineup accurately on the midweek episode, which traditionally had been tough to do this year.
It's rare.
But they essentially rolled the same lineup, except Jose Trevino came back. He was on paternity leave, so he was in there. And yeah, in this game, Cole gets clipped by Casas, who, big prospect for the Red Sox. If you saw him this series, he's the beast of a man. He's like Judge Stanton, Clay Holmes size, big lefty.
Big
Just
fella.
poked his bat out there off a Cole fastball, and it went over the monster. He's been having a tough go so far, but he's a guy Boston has big hopes for. He gets the first one, and you're like, God, Cole, Fenway, what are we doing? Marwin answers out of nowhere, and that'll surprise you if you've been in some of Marwin's numbers this year. But he was having really good at-bats, and he's been getting playing time, and, man, that matters. It really does. Then Fenway Park, which, constant reminder, we love Fenway Park. Speaking for myself and James, at least. It's baseball, right? It's Fenway, the green monster. It's also ridiculous.
A lot of quirks.
There's a monster wall. There's a triangle in center field. It's like 298 down the right field line. Just barely, and then it goes out really deep to be a monster right field. Reese McGuire just tugs one around the pole. Some jokes about that on the internet. If you want to look into it, that's on your own time. That was a Fenway job. Whatever. The guy's first of the year. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Not do it because you're Gerrit Cole. That's kind of the answer. Judge answers. Pandemonium. We're in the home run race. And then Bogarts gets Gerrit, and Gerrit, funny press conference, Gerrit Cole gave Xander a lot of love. Judge again. And then Glaber has a moment, which, we're probably talking about him later, but his swing in that at-bat, the inside-out swing on the down and inside sinker in the right center field is what that man is special at when he plays baseball.
Yep.
So.
Biggest thing to discuss from this game, I think, will get discussed soon on the offensive end. And Glaber's another one I think gets discussed soon. Is there anything with the bullpen?
Wandy at the end. It got hairy. Clay Holmes comes in. He pitched a solid ninth ground out line out. He came back in. He hits McGuire with a pitch, and then he strikes out Pham. Wandy comes in, single. So now you've got bases loaded in a game where Judge has hit 2 homers. You just went up 3 runs, and it's like, holy crap, the potential game-winning run? Is that the dish? What are we doing? Wild pitch, which is fun. He threw a great pitch to get Bogarts out on a weak fly ball. And then after the wild pitch, 7-pitch at-bat to Devers, strikes him out with a beautiful slider, first slider of the at-bat. He's been so good against lefties this year. The numbers are insane. To make Devers look like that was very impressive. And it was, again, could be an award, but it was a very Wandy Peralta moment.
Very Wandy.
Just a brutal situation. And he doesn't sweat.
That's where he thrives.
He doesn't sweat.
I think only other decision in this game was the Hicks pinch hit in extras.
Right. How about
Pinch hits
that?
for Trevino.
Kudos to the broadcast. You guys know I do that whenever I can. They were playing for the walk again, which they've openly discussed in, some of Boone's press conferences when Gallo was with the team. Hicks had a pinch hit. There's times when they look for the walk and they believe in the walk. And this time it worked out, and kudos to Hicks. He had a great at-bat. He was fouling pitches off. Familia, I believe that's who he pinch hit again. He's a traditionally wild pitcher. He ended up having 3 walks in his inning of work. So, yeah, they pushed the button there for Trevi, who has, if you look up Jose Trevino's last 10 games coming into tonight, they're pretty rough. Hopefully paternity dad and everything. Paternity dad. Hey, paternity dad. Hopefully paternity leave, coming back, maybe cleared his mind, gets him through that. And, Hicks has a great at-bat. It earns him a start the next night, which kind of leaves the left field conversation, which is another fun one in Yankee land that I think we're going to have the rest of the way.
Marwin double play following it up, so feels a little silly.
Marwin double play, which took the bat out of Judge's hands. So that was brutal because we thought we were going to get a chance for a potential 3-homer game. Judge has 3 hits, which, the Triple Crown is crazy in reach for Judge. I mean, a couple good nights and a couple Bogarts bad nights, and it would just be a cherry on top of maybe the coolest ice cream sundae of a season.
Just the fact that it's a conversation we're happening with 3 weeks to go.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And it's baseball, we're not wired the same way. Judge after that game was hitting .310, which back in the day, your league batting title guy was going to be 330 range, maybe, something like that.
Like at least.
If they're having a really good year, you're looking at 340, 350 type. Baseball has changed, people. Bogarts coming into tonight led it with 318. I think that number went down because I don't think he got a hit tonight, right?
I don't believe so. I mean, Judge is one of, I think, 6 players above 300 in the AL.
Yeah.
One of them's Benny.
Just a different sport, and maybe the shift next year being eliminated will change that, but for now, it is not. I don't think there's anything else from this game. Cole, we'll see. Yankee MFer might be brutal today.
I have one that's half obvious.
We'll see if we circle up on Cole, but yeah, I mean, Fenway Park, he has not been good.
Homers. Glad we aren't in Fenway in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, for this year, it's not an issue, but, next year's PPP, circle it, and we'll talk about it then.
He didn't help it out this year.
No. Let's do game 2.
Let's do it. On your mark, get set, burn.
Yankees going for the mini sweep and keeping their happy days alive versus Sox pitcher Brian Scott Baio, while King Nestor takes the hill for New York. Like my college experience, we're scoreless through 4, and it's Fenway in Williamsport. Little league home run for Gleyber Torres after a Bogarts error and then a snowball fight. Whee! The ball is in right field all of a sudden. 3-0 Yanks. Hey, make it 3-1. Red Sox go full Cisco. Let me see that Wong. But there's a new proud Papa. Trevino off the monster. 4-1. A little fortitude by the Sox as they dink and dunk Laza. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. Ugly 9th inning both ways, but the Yankees win 5-3. Nestor to Clark to Johnny to Clay. They sweep the Sox in Fenway. Let's go Yanks, man.
Let's go Yanks.
Let's go a Yanks. This was Nestor coming back, still on a pitch limit.
Second start back.
Throws 65 pitches, 5 innings, 1 earned. We're scoreless. You're kind of it's a getaway day. We talked about the weird off days coming up for the Yankees because there's really no rain out makeups that this time of year is scheduled for. And then the Glaber hit, which kudos to him because it was beautiful. Inside out to right field. That was his third hit of the day at the time. He was 3 for 3. Hello. And Hicks was going to score on that ball anyways. IMO.
I think so.
The throw was off. But there was an error earlier in the inning, so it was going to be unearned anyways. But then the Red Sox, the catcher fields it. He was having a tough day throwing. It was my guy Wong back there. He threw it into right field. Glaber's huffing and puffing. Just beats the throw-in. Little League homer. That's fun. And, hey, know what's funny? Remember how bad it felt when, was it the Rays that went up 3-0 on us, and it felt like the world fell on our heads and there was no chance to win the game? Kind of nice to be on the other side of that. And it's a little bit shots fired at the Red Sox. And, I mean, talk to any Red Sox fan at this point. The season has gotten away from them. Their goals have changed. They're starting to look towards next year. 69 and 74 after tonight. But, yeah, to be up 3-0 and be like, I'm pretty sure we're going to win this game. Even when it got hairy in the 8th, I thought Johnny Lazo was going to get the double play ball. They did, kind of. Some creative base running by J.D. Martinez that you don't see on a baseball field a lot as he misses the bag. And then, I mean, at the end, a little bit of a wonky ninth inning. But Yankees win. Clark looks really good, which, remember that bullpen?
Sharp.
Remember that bullpen convo I told you to have with yourself? That's something. Glaber 3-hit day, which I think we'll talk about soon. Something I don't think we'll talk about, but it segues from last game. Aaron Hicks starts in left field. Andujar had started 7 games in a row or something like that. Yeah, so Hicks gets to start in left field after his good at bat last night. And I think you got to be honest about it. Going back into salary considerations and how Yankees have treated these two players over the past years, depending what updates we get on Benny, which, again, don't expect them to be good, left field is probably going to come down to Aaron Hicks, Miguel Andujar, and Oswaldo Cabrera, who hasn't played left field, but he's looked good, but he hasn't really hit.
They haven't put him there, hasn't fully gone.
He's been good defensively. He has been playing and batting 6th or 5th almost every day for a while now. So, again, that's a fun one to have with yourself, and especially when Harrison Bader is on this team in about a week, and he's in center and Judge is in right.
Or is he?
I guess we'll see. But left field, there's a lot of answers. The answers are becoming very apparent everywhere else between Judge Bader, Stanton DH, Rizzo, Glaber, IKF, Donaldson. We'll see if DJ can get back in the mix. It's not looking great. We know our catchers. Like I said, the pitching's a good problem. Left field is the one you're circling. And then, obviously, if there is a Carpenter DJ update that's good, that changes the equation. And then I didn't include Benny there because if Benny somehow gets back involved, there's your... It ends the left field discussion. I mean,
regardless of what the bat's doing.
Kind of who he is defensively, even a Benny with a limited bat is a pretty solid left fielder. So,
yeah. Not that he has a lot of pop anyway, so I don't know how much it fully changes if the contact tool's there.
Yeah. So that's again, if you're looking for fun Yankee combos to have online or with us, we'll be doing them on the show probably the rest of the way.
Every Tuesday app.
Have them with your buddies, or by now a lot of you know the people online that some hoodie
that
gang
you can chat with.
Max Manis is always looking to chat.
Everybody
reply to Talkin Yanks. Yeah. You'll find a chat.
Everybody in the lineup besides Hicks and Marwin get hits, and Marwin gets a walk, which I was gonna say is all the people you expect to be part of a postseason lineup, but Hicks and Marwin kind of in the mix for left field. So
yeah, Marwin, I guess
that would be the
has played left field for us this
Been
year.
over there. Would love to get Oswaldo a game over there. Let's see it.
Yeah, I guess this is a little weird. I mean, Yankees were 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Boston was 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Boston has 3 errors in this game. Marwin has a somewhat costly one. And the Yankees score 3 of their 5 runs on a, 2-error play. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be walking around puffing your chest. But they beat a Boston team that's struggling a little bit. And, like we said, 8-2 in their last 10. And I'm gonna ask you to not listen to the Yankees podcast from 10 games ago because we were in a dark place. Yankees were playing a bad brand of baseball.
About as bad as it gets.
And they're starting to dig out, which is really good. And again, in another less than a week, this team is going to change significantly more. Johnny gets dinked and dunked. Clay didn't look super sharp, but good enough to get it done in a 3-run game. Clarky, I think I might save because that feels like a guy we're probably going to talk about. So, anything else on the 2 games, peeps?
Think that's it. Everything else will be discussed.
All right. Well, we will go on to awards, and the first award we give you is the
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
And it's brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. NFL's opening week was nuts. My goodness, if you watch that 3:30 to 4:30, NFL has a way. Baseball has a way too, and we're going to have it all October and late September. But if you're looking to get in on that NFL action, Sunday's kind of your check-in NFL day. If you bet $5 on any football game, you'll get $200 in free bets instantly at DraftKings. And if your team goes up 10, this is a fun one they're doing now. You get paid instantly. I think there was 3 or 4 games this weekend. And games that switched. I think Atlanta went up huge on New Orleans. And they ended up losing that game. But because they were up 10 at any point, your bet gets paid out. So that's not a bad deal to have. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code JOHNBOY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Pride of the Yankees. Beebs, I think you have the Jom honor spot.
I believe so.
That makes sense.
And fortunately for us, I think there's 2 guys that are like 2.5 guys to be considered for 2 spots.
Okay.
So I'll take the easy one. I'll go Aaron Judge.
That's a good one.
500 batting average, 4 for 8, 600 OBP across the 2 games, 2 more homers. He's up to 57. And most episodes, he can be the pride of the Yankees, and this is one of them.
He's been racking them up of late, and it's...
For a while, he was probably lagging behind where he should be. He is now, this is his 15th. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
He's having that kind of year.
If you don't know, he's at 57 home runs. Our guy Sweeney Murdy tweeted it out yesterday. He's basically been on a home run every 2-game pace for 2 months now. It's incredible. I keep getting reminded that he's playing center field, which I think it was Dave Schoenfield came out with an article at ESPN which was comparing Judge's season to like all the seasons all time. And the fact that while he's playing center field, which is a position that's normally lesser offensively, they're comparing him to Bonds in the steroids era. They're comparing him to, I think it's like Mickey Mantle's 57 or something like that. Comparing him to Maris's 61. Comparing Ruth's 27 or any Babe Ruth season, really. And the fact that he's doing that while playing center field, while in a contract year, while carrying the load of this Yankees team for so long. Like I just said, we're 10 days removed from this team being considered nothing short of a disaster. I know we're a Yankees podcast. I believe Aaron Judge is your American League MVP if things ended today. His WAR is better than Ohtani's. There's good team, bad team stuff, which I know can get tricky in a debate because I think the one that me and Trevor have talked about this on Talkin' Baseball a lot. If you switch these guys' places, I think the Yankees are still a first-place team, and I think the Angels are probably still a last, or wherever they are in the AL West. I think they might be second to last. And that point cannot be countered, but that probably shouldn't be held against Aaron Judge either, that he's on a contender and helping lead their way through it. So I think he's leading in like 9 important baseball categories currently. He's got a chance at the Triple Crown. It's very much looking like he's going to beat and break the home run record, which...
After this series, it became like fully, for me personally, became fully, I'm now expecting it to happen. And at least I think now, as we get going, it's going to start getting loud on a national scale. They're like, he is right there now.
Yeah, I think now that we're in the upper 50s, I think you're really starting to see the juice on the internet and news, and Passan is tweeting it, and ESPN, Scott Van Pelt, like everyone's all in at this point. And it's funny, they had to wake up a little bit, and me and Beebs were talking about this on Wake and Jake, was that because he's been ahead of the pace for so long, the feel of it is super unique because the things in play here are there's the steroid era. So the home run record is technically not the home run record. And Judgy in a press conference, and I think smartly, said he's like, I'm not chasing that really. Like 73 is the home run record. I'm trying to win games. Very Aaron Judge. You guys know the deal at this point. He's kind of taken 61 as far off the radar as he can. And it's so funny. The New York media is so funny. Someone asked Boone if he thought in his heart of hearts that Judge had an idea what was going on. And Booney was like, Booney like scoffed and was like, kinda, like, because think about it, how much of a trap that question is. Your two options are, no, Aaron Judge has no idea what's happening, which means he's like blind to the world. Or the other option is like, oh yeah, Judgy knows and he's locked into this. Really good question in a way. Also, stop it. We know what's happening. And then Jack Curry, Michael K on the calls is reminding you every time how big this is. Jack Curry in the studio is reminding us that we almost need to start going crazier. Like, this just seems so normal. And like Judge is carrying himself and he's been so consistently good that breaking 61 should not feel normal at all. It should feel like pure chaos.
It's very rare anyone never flirts with it.
And they normally fade out pretty hard. He's on pace for, I think, 64 now or 65. He is incredible. He is the pride of the Yankees. And the 2 home runs were such Judgian homers, to steal K's word. Opposite field into the Red Sox bullpen, and then light tower power on a ball he didn't fully connect with, just out of Fenway.
Both of them tying the game at the time.
Yeah.
Important for the game.
Yeah. This is something I haven't shared yet. I shared in the office today, I think with BBD and Zach. Or maybe it was just Zach. I was torturing Zach today. Do you think there are any young Red Sox fans that are in that crucial fandom moment of being young and learning what sports are and becoming a loving, rabid fan of the game? Do you think there's any Red Sox fans that are making the switch to Yankee fans right now? Just a couple. I'm not saying like the whole stadium is doing it. But, a couple kids from 8 to 12, maybe they're pissed at their parents that day.
Couple punks.
And they're watching Aaron Judge break the home run record. I don't know. It's a little shaky theory. But Judge is awesome.
Yeah, we did the whole segment on Wake and Jake, but I think also if it happens, it's going to be looked back on pretty pretty well, like historically. This is the last year of defensive shifts, which don't affect the homers,
Right.
but affect everything else when we're talking about how he's contending for batting title stuff. Balls aren't juiced anymore, allegedly. It's been a down offensive season. It's going to be looked back on like really well.
There's an
It's
argument.
going to age really well.
There's an argument we're watching the best offensive season all time. Mike Trout is second in the American League in home runs with 35. Our guy's on pace for 60s, mid-60s.
There's a chance he lands in the mid-60s, and nobody else in the AL has over 40.
Crazy. That's a good pride, Beeps.
I think so. Do you have one?
I do. I think I'm going to take the other one that feels obvious. I will take Gleyber Torres.
Oh, I feel a little bad. You took him last time.
That's fine. I have no problem. I'm drinking the Gleyber Kool-Aid as much as possible. 3 hits today. My final award, I think, or final where I left everyone with Gleyber last time was like, keep this going. I said last episode I wanted to hear on the ALDS broadcast when Gleyber Torres comes up that they're like, this is the guy in the Yankees lineup. This last month of games, he's been hitting 350 with a 900 OPS. 3 hits tonight, and the bases clearing hit yesterday. And as we get deeper and deeper in this, the other thing I wanted to mention to Judge that was getting me emotional was the fact that in a cool way, we're going to be able to say we covered the Aaron Judge home run season. Like when Michael Kay is in the booth and he talks about covering the 96 Yankees, we get to say we're doing that kind of. So a quick little thank you again to everyone that supports us and is a part of this. So that's really cool. Gleyber Torres, if you didn't see it somehow and you're listening to this, the pitch off Familia. It's a down and in sinker. A guy that has been a sinker ball pitcher for a long time in Major League Baseball. Obviously not on top of his game. Got released after the game. Sorry. But for Gleyber Torres to get his hands inside that ball, barrel it up, drive it to right center field at Fenway, clear the bases, make it 4-4 to 7-4, and continue this heater he is on. He still has a chance. We were talking about this in the office, and it's something players do think about. Josh Donaldson, even if he finds that hot streak we've been begging for, his numbers on the year aren't going to look like where Josh Donaldson wants them. The homers are going to be low. The on-base percentage is going to be lower than he thought. The power, kind of all around, he's got to just put that out the window and be the best Josh Donaldson he could be the rest of the way. And in postseason, your numbers reset, and let's see it, kid. Gleyber Torres can still have an awesome year. If he finishes up these last 3 weeks or so, he can have a high 7s OPS. He can hit in the 260s with around 25 homers or so. That's a very nice baseball season. And as BBD was mentioning, it's a year where offense is down. So even if some of those numbers don't seem too gaudy, his OPS plus coming in tonight was 102. He's been 2% above league average and the year on the whole. Couple good weeks, Gleyber Torres can have a very nice season, one that he can feel good enough and go into the playoffs hot, kid. Because just a reminder, and I'll probably be saying these stats a few times the rest of the way, Gleyber Torres, 325, 413 on base, a 988 OPS in 22 playoff games. If he's hot going into the playoffs, that can change the equation for the Yankees. So, I think we hit the 2 big prides there.
I think so. The other half point I was thinking of, it sounded like you might be eyeing.
I guess we will see. BBD, you can hit the next sound effect. I don't know.
You Yankee motherfucker.
Damn, felt like it hit harder today.
The hard k.
Yeah, right? What was that?
Every now
new
and
sound?
then. Every now and then it really hits.
Do you have someone you want to give it to?
I do. I mean, it's a 2-game sweep so
can be
hard.
quick
Like, I
and
think this
easy.
will be pretty tidy. I think it's Clay Holmes. You pitched twice and gave up runs both times.
Okay, interesting.
I don't want to dwell on it. The first inning was clean yesterday, but yeah, and he's him being right is pretty important. So let's get fully right again. I'm not off him, but
No, because he came into low leverage tonight. I know it's still a save opportunity, but it's Boston, getaway day, 5-2, ugly game, whatever. Not giving a full excuse, but it is whatever. The one before, he had a clean inning. He comes out for the next one, hits a guy in the foot, and, I think Wandy ends up letting that one score on a Doogie hit. So I'm not going to rip him apart for that one, but I think the conversation, and that's where we want to get to with these awards. Yeah, man, I tweeted it out last night. I hadn't thought about Clay Holmes, and so there's a little loophole here too, right? So Clay Holmes pitched an important inning in the doubleheader game, the game that me and Jimmy went to. But me and Jimmy were at that game, so we couldn't see Clay Holmes or feel that moment how you normally do. So if you take that out, it had been a week and a half since Clay Holmes had pitched in. I watched Clay Holmes pitch on TV, pitch in an important game. There's a good stat for you. Take that, Jack Curry. Analytics. When he came out in that game, I was like, whoa, I forgot how important this guy is. We had gotten so lost in the lineup, so lost in the injuries. Clay Holmes is such an important piece to the Yankees making a World Series run this year, which, let's be honest, now that we're fixing things and we've rightened the ship and guys are getting healthy, that's the Yankees' goal this season. Judge is having a historic season. We signed Gerrit Cole a couple years back. We had a 15-game lead in the division. We added guys at the deadline. The goal of this season is World Series. And if that's the goal, now that we're getting everything else figured out, that Clay Holmes one is massive. So, yeah, circle it the rest of the way. Luckily, there's off days coming up. Hopefully they can strategically use those to keep Clay fresh. And Clay needs to instill a little bit more confidence in us. Give us a couple clean ones the rest of the way so we don't need to talk about it. That would be ideal. It's a good one, Beebs. MFer's tough. It's a tough one.
They didn't give us a ton of options, which is a good trait.
Yeah, there's only 2 games. Sheesh. I guess. No, I don't want to do that. Should I do that? I can't give it to Oswaldo, right?
I see someone else I guess I'd give it to before him.
That Marwin error kind of hurt me today. Is it Donaldson?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, Band-Aid mode. Donaldson goes 1 for 9. It feels like we got hyped up one more time because he had one more big day at the stadium. He had that ball go off the wall, and then he hit a homer after that. I don't know. I guess we just keep talking ourselves in that there's going to be a Josh Donaldson. And, man, at this point, I hope he proves us wrong. Because, yeah, I saw someone in the chat just say Stanton, and technically Stanton kind of outdid Donaldson in this series. So, I don't know. I don't love it.
I don't know what the deal with that pimped fly ball in his first at-bat was. I don't know if you got to see it.
I saw the replay. That was weird.
It's just the weirdest I've seen it. Like, I don't really get on him for that generally, but it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a guy that if he's right and it feels like it's still in there. So if he's right, that changes so much, and the glove's been so good. I think he had a nice throw tonight at one point. which he's had all year.
Yeah.
It feels like one of the spots that
Hey,
ratchets it up.
they won both games.
Games, it's hard.
It is what it is. I guess I'm more mad at myself that I keep thinking JD can kick in a gear, and I hope at some point he does, because changes the dynamic of the team. And I see in the chat, JD's D. Yeah, I love it.
I love it.
It's fantastic. There's a lot of plays. He cut IKF on a couple tough balls today to make the sure thing. But yeah, that if he's gonna be in the lineup, he's got to hit a little more. Hey, tough MFers. I'm already over it. Let's move on.
2 games set. They won
Sweat
both.
the Red Sox. You
got a nitpick.
We're dancing on graves. Let's do the awards to round out the show. Regular awards. Do you have a first award, Beeps?
I have a first award. Thinking of what I think it's the I'm Ready award.
Wow. Why are you giving this to Clark Schmidt?
I'm not giving it to Clark Schmidt.
Oh.
Damn. It's going to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Our guy, IKF.
Yeah, he has another quality series. Frankly, I haven't noticed any defense at short since he's gone back there. It's been a pretty extended run of at least quality plate appearances since the start of August. 270 with a 710 OPS. That's fine since the start of September. It's not including tonight's game, but he got on one more time. At least he got a hit and a walk tonight. No, just yes. Yeah. So it's even better than this now, I think. But September, it's been 10 games of a 955 OPS entering tonight. He's been good, and the Yankees have shown no reason he won't be the guy in the playoffs. I am ready for it. I've come fully to terms.
He also, we love a good round number. He stole 20
Yes.
bases.
I forgot that's the other reason he was on my heart.
Stole 20 bases on the season, not this series. So yeah, I mean, 20 stolen bases. The batting average is around 270. It's our qualm with IKF this year was on balls coming in, and there's a lot of numbers, and you've heard a lot of them here, and there's more you haven't heard of. That this guy was supposed to be the slapstick guy that played crazy defense. He makes some nice plays. I think he's even gotten better.
Good defensive game tonight.
He's gotten better as this season's gone on the nicer plays, the high-level plays, so I appreciate that. But yeah, he if the rest of the guys come back and do their thing and he plays defense and he's IKF with the bat, it shouldn't get in the way of what the Yankees want to do. I do think, like David Cohn said on Tone the Slab this week, I think the Yankees would have loved to see some more Peraza. If they could go back in time, see Peraza play for 4 weeks in June to see what that felt like. But they missed the boat on that, and it's very apparent that they're scared to play the kid out there.
It doesn't seem like it's the plan.
Even though he looked okay, he didn't play in this series. So
if he's a piece at the bottom of that lineup with the element of a stolen base, this guy that the opposing pitcher and defense have to keep in mind at least. 20 is a real number.
20 is a very real number, especially in today's baseball. And the other thing, and it was a part of this. You mentioned IKF has been playing well recently. He's got a 351 batting average in September. Maybe seeing the kid at shortstop. Motivation is a real thing, and competition. So he's been playing very well the month of September.
He also had a very nice post-game interview tonight.
It's a great interview.
Every time he's talked, he's nailed it. It's nice things to say about Glaber. I think it's clear he's liked in the locker room, IKF. And he got me excited about playoff Glaber, too, which I like.
Ooh. Playoff G. I am going to give out I'm going to give out the Cerrano Award.
Cerrano. How's that spelled?
I believe it is spelled Cerrano.
Is that like Major League?
It sure is.
Wow.
Let's see. He's all over it. Will he get the point?
Is it Giancarlo Stanton?
Ooh, it's not. That's a really good guess. That's probably what I would have guessed, too. No half points, unfortunately.
I know. The other guess would be the normal game, but I didn't guess that.
I am going to Oswaldo Cabrera.
Ooh.
The other kid. Because famously, Pedro Cerrano, as we're now getting some in the chat, straight ball I hit very much. But he really struggled with the curve. And we talked about it in the midweek. You see it in his at-bats. The off-speed stuff is fooling him. And by the way, it fools a lot of young players. So I'm not ruling him out. But if he wants to be in the mix for October, and I mean really in the mix, not a defensive replacement, because I think he could do that tomorrow. Everywhere we've put him, the kid seems lights out. You know, there's some guys that play positions. There's some guys that catch, field, and throw kind of wherever they're at. He's got that. He's got to do something against the breaking ball. And, hey, I guess this is where everything I just said about Peraza and how the Yankees probably would have go back in time and give him some run in June. Same with Cabrera, man. He's been in the middle of the lineup now for how long? 4 weeks?
Yeah.
That let's see who comes back and everything, and maybe he's a defensive replacement, but would have loved to give him some more reps at the major league level this year because he's struggling with the off-speed stuff. And pitchers know it right now, and he knows it right now. And that's a bad feeling when you're coming to the plate, when both sides know what's kind of going to happen. So hopefully we can see some of that the rest of the way. But, yeah, I mean, he's a guy that could be in play, and depending when you start really crunching the playoff roster, is that guy a potential backup shortstop come October? I don't know.
Dude, yeah.
I don't know.
Outfield situation impacts that possibility.
So hopefully my guy can hit a couple of the curves. So what's your final award, Beebs?
Final award. Huh. Totally not stalling.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done that.
Not I, said the fly.
Looking at the I Love This Guy award.
Wow. Love on the table.
Going to Nestor, man.
Wow, didn't let me guess. That's minus a point.
Minus
Nestor.
a point.
I get it now.
I think you got the point. So everyone mark that down.
Nestor.
Man, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Another good outing, 5 innings, a run, limited pitch count.
You gonna talk about his hair?
Dude, the buzz cut made me laugh. It looked funny today. In like the nicest way. I really liked it.
It's Nestor.
That's like who he is.
Yeah, it's Nestor.
He looks so happy with it. He broke out one of his funkier deliveries we've seen in a little bit. You always like that. He gets billed as a guy who does it a lot. He does like one kind of funky thing a game, I think, but he doesn't really need that anymore. And I love it.
Yeah.
He's like clearly the game 2 guy at this point. Depending on how things line up, I guess.
I was scared to throw it out early in the season. I was scared to throw it out last year. El Duque, for those that went on the ride, with him. I mean, another guy that was king of the world, had fun playing baseball, was silly, had kids replicating his stuff, playing wiffle ball in the yard, blitzball now. Yeah, man. And I mean, it's, remember the first half of the conversation this year was, will it last? And now it's kind of who this guy is. Like, he was lights out last year. Nestor was 2.9 ERA in 93 innings. This year, he's 2.73 coming into tonight with a strikeout per inning in 135. He gets his 10th win of the year. He is R2. And, yeah, I mean, he doesn't do the funky stuff now. But he did against Devers in, like, a big moment, which is almost more impressive.
He breaks it out.
Like, I don't...
Right when... I guess when you need it, when you do need it most, like I guess it makes sense you break it out for a big spot, but it's funny.
You can hear Cone talk about how awesome it is on the broadcast, because it is. The whole story itself, I know, is a story that he made the All-Star team, and if he gets a big playoff start, which I think all Yankee fans hope he gets a couple big playoff starts this year, the story of Nestor is incredible. Orioles didn't want this guy. Mariners didn't want this guy. Yankees half didn't want this guy. And now he and the Yankees have turned himself into an incredible pitcher. When everyone went on that trade value website at the deadline, like Nestor's like a top 2 or 3 most valuable guy because he's on a team-friendly contract. And if he's this good, that's insane. That's insane. That is a good one, Beebs. Nestor. Build him back up for the playoffs and let him go to work. My next award, and the final most prestigious award of the episode, is the two-strike award. Weird. I might take it back.
Oh, taking it back.
I'm going to do the chipping award.
Chipping award.
Chipping award.
I'm gonna guess Clark Schmidt.
You're right. I mean, I kind of gave it away earlier on because I really said I want to talk about him, and then I guessed it for yours. But I'll give you the point. Take the point. Clark Schmidt, I think, had an important outing tonight. He pitched 2 innings out of the bullpen, 3 strikeouts, 20 pitches, no hits, no walks. Why I think that's important. Again, do your roster crunch at home. I think what tonight was, Clark Schmidt, while he came out in his first inning, Lucas Littke got up in the bullpen in case he got in trouble. So what does that mean, Jakey? That means they were willing to use Clark Schmidt for 12, 14, 15 pitches. Why is that important? Every time Clark Schmidt does that, his potential stamina goes down a notch. If this is a video game, his stamina bar would drop a little bit. Because pitchers need to be built up. That's why we do spring training. That's why we count pitches and all that stuff. I think the Yankees have announced that the long man role in the bullpen will either be Domingo Germán or a Jameson Taillon or Frankie Montas. Like, we have options.
Maybe Sevy if he's...
We'll see what Sevy looks like, but we just named 6 starting pitchers who are stretched out, right? So the long man role in the bullpen is going to come from one of those guys. Domingo still has the option to maybe be a 2-inning flex guy. We'll see. But he's stretched out. Clark Schmidt is getting less stretched out, and there's other options for that role that are bona fide MLB guys. Clark Schmidt is now competing for a somewhat true reliever role. Now, does he have 2-inning ability that maybe a couple guys don't have? Yes. I mean, how many true 1-inning guys are currently in the Yankees bullpen? I mean, I guess Chapman if he comes back, but he's currently not there.
Britton, if he comes back, currently not there. Efros, I think would be a 1.
So
Currently not there.
Clark Schmidt is now battling the bullpen guys for a bullpen spot, and he got off to a great start. His fastball was 95 and was looking good. He was throwing a very much more of a slider to righties to get away from the bat, and he was throwing more of a curveball to lefties. He struck out Devers with a beautiful one, I believe. So Clark Schmidt, he's choking up. He's chipping. Like, no more long irons, I don't think. I think he's emptying the tank for the rest of this year in a 1 to 2 inning role. And he's going to be competing with some really interesting names. And I just think maybe the more important thing where I started at, the guys who are going to be thrown into a potential long man role, there's options that are just more MLB war tested than Clark that are going to have that role. So, I mean, 3 weeks left, 3.5 weeks left. Clark Schmidt's going to be put in some big bullpen, high relief moments, and he's going to get a chance to see what he's got.
Yeah.
See what he's got. Really interesting. When it's right with Clark, it's beautiful.
It's hard not to have him in the trust bucket. He's been really nothing but good.
His stats on the year, he's a 2.59 ERA guy.
He had a couple weeks there where he was getting some starts, and I think one of them was kind of blah. And he was fine in that role, I believe.
Yeah, he's got 2 bad outings this year. One was his first full-blown start against Oakland.
Yes.
I believe that was a game that we simulcasted. He gave up 4 and 4. And then he got rocked against the Twins, but like my good friend who's not here says,
yes,
series against the Twins don't matter. So that doesn't exist. So we did miss a couple things this episode that we do need to hit. Gerrit Cole, we talked about it. I think if they lost, he could have been an MFer. I'm not going to inexcuse it. He's Gerrit Cole. You can't give up that many homers, and especially at Fenway, man. His contract isn't up after the year. He's going to be here for a while. His numbers at Fenway now are straight bad, and he gives up 3 home runs every 9 innings at Fenway.
Like this time out, he had the good stuff. Easy to say, outside of the homers, he was great, but those were the only hits he gave up. He gets double-digit strikeouts in 6 innings again. This was the best he's looked in a Fenway start, I think, stuff-wise. But the homers still happened.
So, yeah, and again, you guys know I'm a sucker for a Cole press conference by now. At the end of the game, kind of funny. He was clearly frustrated and didn't like his performance, but he gave the team won today, so I'm happy. So that's pretty good. But, yeah, I mean, the Fenway stuff, again, let's put it in our rear view for now. We're definitely going to have to address it next year. Luckily, the Red Sox will not be in the playoffs, so it's over. And maybe... and I'm not going to excuse Gerrit, but hopefully that's his last kind of meh one for the year. He's going to have 3 or 4 the rest of the way, depending how the Yankees do it. Cole usually goes in 4 or 5 stretches with his good starts, and then there's a meh one. Let's head into the postseason hot, big fella.
Yeah, it's Gerrit, we can table this for now. Revisit it in the winter and next spring, and
yeah.
So, I don't think it's an issue the rest of the way. I guess they play the Red Sox one more time, but it's not in Fenway.
Over it. Let's see. The bullpen was generally well. Johnny gives up a dinker-dunker. Marwin hit a cool home run in this series.
Yeah.
Also had an untimely error. It's whatever. Smoke alarm, fire alarm. Those that know. Oh, I mean, the other thing that I very much want to talk about, people wanted us to be in tougher on Stanton. Yeah, sucks. He hit the home run off the position player, and then he hit another home run, and we all really started dreaming. A la Donaldson, he could have got the MFer, but he didn't. And a couple of his at-bats, he did get pitched to really well, but he also is clearly still not full tilt Stanton, so...
We were hoping there was a start of a breakout, and we're not there. But at the same time, he got a hit in each of these games, so I'm not. I wasn't going to give him an MFer for that, but I understand. Struck out 4 times today,
and maybe we're yet to mention it. The most lighthearted part of this series, a guy that I'm endeared to, and it's exactly for moments like this. Estevan Florial comes in to pinch run at first base on the Glaber double in the gap. And, it's a deep Fenway right field, and the ball rolled for a while. And you're like, oh, Florial's fast, so he's probably going to score easily. It's a funny moment where there was a pause. Caster was calling it, and he's, everyone scores. You see the Red Sox cutoff man kind of pump fake. Florial bombing it around third base. Just eats it. Does a full body tumble, and he kind of rolled into it really well, and he still ends up scoring.
Kept it moving.
The guy is a wild horse. We saw him slide into first in that doubleheader game I referenced. It was like one of the most powerful things I've seen on a baseball field. The guy's a very large human, and he plays like a wild horse. So I don't know if he'll ever hit. We'll see. Well, maybe we'll find out next.
Your tools are there.
Maybe we'll find out next year. But, I mean, he is a bull in a china shop. Andujar only plays the first game 0 for 4.
No Peraza, no Higgy after he got... Well, I guess he gets into the first game, technically.
He came in after that pinch hit. But Yeah. So... where we started this episode out, we're going to Milwaukee. It looks like we're dodging Corbin Burnes, who's last year's Cy Young winner and really good. These games are going to mean a lot to Milwaukee. I don't love playing this game sometimes. Milwaukee's fighting for their season. They've been on the outside looking in at the NL wild card for a couple weeks now. They can't have a bad series or their season could be over. Like, they're 2 games back in the NL wild card. If the Yankees came in and swept them, that could end Milwaukee's season. So they're going to be scratching and clawing tooth and nail everything they've got. You're probably going to see quick hooks out of their bullpen. Like, they are win every game. And just a reminder, the Yankees, we don't go everywhere every year. That, Milwaukee, this is kind of a big series on multiple level. When the Yankees don't come around, and they do come around, the crowd gets hype. It's cool. You're playing the Yankees. And that's not D-bag Yankee stuff. It's just a historic franchise comes to town. So your beautiful baseball city gets excited, and Milwaukee is one of those places. So very interested to see the atmosphere, see how many Yankee fans are in Milwaukee. That's always fun to see in a different road park. But the place should be electric. They're fighting for their life. Or, maybe the Yankees do break their spirits and put an end to it. But let's see what goes on in Milwaukee. We will be recapping it on Sunday afternoon.
Afternoon, maybe.
I think it's
Who
like
knows?
a 2
It can
o'clock?
become an evening.
Yeah.
Again.
We will see.
I guess that it's on pace for like 6. So.
And I'll tell you this. If we do well against the Brewers, whether it's 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, then the hype train and everything gets a little kooky. Because let's see where Judge is at in the home run race. That Tuesday game against Pittsburgh should have Rizzo and Bader in the lineup. Like, it's everything's getting pretty real, but in a good way. So, enjoy the games in Milwaukee this weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy everything on John Boy Media. I know a lot of you guys know, but we have so much stuff going on. that if you're looking to get away from Yankees for a little bit, we have it.
There's other options.
Chris Rose has a football show now. Check that out.
Warehouse live stream literally like all day tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we're doing like 11 a.m. We're doing a Warehouse Sandlot live stream. So I forgot about that, and I will be there in about 9 hours. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Tweet at Jim and send him some love. He was down bad for a little bit. Chat, you guys were awesome tonight. All the Talkin' Yanks faithful. We love you so much. See you Sunday. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.